All right, thank you all for tuning in to WGHC LP 98.3 FM Chicago. And definitely welcome to the show Money Talks. I'm your host today. My name is Jeff Badu, and I'm a parallel entrepreneur and a wealth multiplier. I'm the founder and CEO of Badu Enterprises LLC, which is a multinational conglomerate in the finance industry. So what we do is we provide a suite of financial services, including our marquee company, which is Badu Tax Services, and that's the firm that does tax preparation, tax planning, and tax representation for individuals and businesses across all 50 states in the U.S. And we also have clients in over 25 countries at the moment. And then we have Badu Investments LLC, which is my real estate investment company. And what we do is we basically provide housing. We essentially invest in rental properties, mainly on the south side of Chicago, in efforts to restore traditionally underserved communities. Then we have Badu Life and Health Solutions LLC, which is our life insurance agency. And what we do is we provide life insurance products and solutions to individuals, families, and small businesses. Then we have the Badu Foundation that provides financial literacy education to the youth ages 6 to 18, where we teach them on topics such as budgeting, saving, investing, and then also scholarships. All right, so with that, welcome to the show Money Talks, where all we talk is money. You're listening live on WJC LP 98.3 FM Chicago. And today we'll be talking about essentially investing like a billionaire. So how to invest like a billionaire. How to invest like the Warren Buffetts of the world, the Jeff Bezos, the Elon Musk, the Bill Gates, right? What goes on in their mind when they're investing, you know? And I do want to give special shout out to those listening on Facebook and Instagram. If you don't mind just dropping in the chat where you're listening from, and then give us a like and a share. That would be greatly appreciated. So just let us know where you're listening from, and then just give us a like, and then also you can share this video. All right. Before we get into the topic for today, as usual, we like to do a market report. This is share basically what's been going on in the markets. All right. We got Miriam from Dallas, Texas. Absolutely. Shout out to Dallas. All right. So with that, let's get into the report. August 13, 2021. Thank you to everyone who gave a birthday birthday shout out. I celebrated my 29th birthday this past Saturday, so it was definitely a great time. Thank you for those that celebrated with me, all the birthday wishes. It was definitely great. And due to that, we actually decided to extend. We're doing an Infinite Wealth course special, a discount, you may call it. 75% off the course. The code expires tonight. Code is AUG14. Once again, that's AUG14. The code is still live and available. If you're on Instagram, it's the second link in my bio. If you're on Facebook, I posted the link. The link should be in there today. But it's basically, you can also get the direct course website link at jeffbadu.com. Once again, that's jeffbadu.com. We're doing 75% off special. Expires tonight at 11:59 p.m. Central. After that, right, the course will not be that low of a price. Like, this is just something that I came up with for my birthday, a way to give back. However, after tonight, that 75% off, you will not get the course any lower than that. I guarantee you that for sure. You know, so just keep that in mind. I encourage you to take advantage. This is the Infinite Wealth course. You know, talking about the 3-step wealth building formula. And you can catch that at jeffbadu.com. If you're on Instagram, it's the second link in my bio. If you type in the code AUG14, once again, AUG14, you get 75% off. The biggest discount we've ever done in the course history. And it will be the biggest discount. We won't be going that high anymore. Right? Shout out to those that did take advantage of that discount and also are actually going through the course. All right, so with that, let's get into the market report. Let's maybe spend 5 minutes just seeing what happened in the stock market this past week. So let's see here. Stocks closed mostly higher last week, with only the NASDAQ, which is composed mainly of technology stocks, by the way, unable to end in the black. The Dow and the S&P 500 S&P 500 is composed of the top 500 stocks or companies in the U.S. Each closed the week at record highs, buoyed by a strong corporate earnings season. Treasury yields finished the week where they began. Crude oil prices fell for the second consecutive week, and the dollar and gold prices weakened. All right, let's see here. All right, so the S&P 500 is up nearly 19% since the beginning of the year, has nearly doubled since the pandemic lows of March 2020. All right, that's huge. S&P 500, composed of the top 500 stocks or companies in the U.S., is up nearly double since March 2020 when the pandemic began. That is huge. All right, let's start off with last Monday. So equities opened last week mixed. Only the NASDAQ was really high. All right, so all the other indexes essentially fell down. So Monday wasn't the best day in the stock market. Let's see what happened on Tuesday. We're doing rapid fire market report. At about 7:15 p.m. Central, we should be able to get right into our topic. We always like to kick it off with the market report. For those who are listening with us for the first time, thank you for tuning in to WGHC LP 98.3 FM, Chicago. And this is your show, Money Talks, where all we talk is money. All right, stocks rebounded last Tuesday with the S&P 500 and the Dow climbing into record highs. All right, so basically, so the stocks basically went up last Tuesday. So that's great news. Let's talk about last Wednesday. Last Wednesday, stocks rose to record highs on news that consumer price increases slowed in July. So when prices are slowing down, then that makes investors happy because they have more money to buy stuff, basically. All right, so just keep that in mind. Possibly reducing the urgency to ease stimulus measures currently in place. So the Federal Reserve is in charge of increasing or reducing interest rates. And so with this information in effect, they'll probably not increase interest rates as high as frequently as people think they would. All right, so only the NASDAQ slipped marginally. Everything else pretty much went up. Wall Street ended last Thursday mostly higher, with the S&P 500 reaching a record high for the third consecutive session. That's really good. All right, NASDAQ and the Dow also closed higher, while the Global Dow and the Russell 2000 edged lower. Passage of a $1 trillion infrastructure bill in the U.S. Senate helped boost industrials and materials, which would likely benefit from increased government spending on physical structures. Makes sense, right? When you have more money into infrastructure, well, that means that the industrial companies would do pretty good. Let's talk about last Friday. Shout out to Fridays. Friday is my favorite day of the week, by the way. I was actually born on a Friday. So equities hovered near record highs in light of trading last Friday. The Dow and the NASDAQ were flat. S&P 500 inched up 0.2%, and then the global Dow went up 0.3%. So overall, the stock market went up last week. So that's good news there. All right. And the Dow Jones so far this year is up 16.04%. NASDAQ is up 15.01%. S&P 500 is up 18.95%. Holy cow. Russell 2000 is up 12.57%. And then the global Dow is up 17.53%. Man, those are some pretty big gains right there. All right, so the housing sector is slowing somewhat. June saw the number of issued building permits lag from May's total, although housing starts increased. On the other hand, industrial production has risen fairly steadily since February and is expected to continue rising, accommodate increase in demand. All right. So with that, welcome to the show Money Talks, where all we talk is money. We're live today on WGHC LP 98.3 FM Chicago. You can check out our website, WGHCradio.org. Once again, that's WGHCradio.org. You can listen live. You can stream us live. And then you can also tune in your car, 98.3 FM if you're in Chicago. Or you can listen like some are right now on Facebook and Instagram. So today we're talking about how to invest like a billionaire, right? what type of mindset do billionaires have when they're going into investing? What actually sparked me, and sorry for the background noise, what actually sparked me to do this segment today is I'm reading a book called How to Become a Billionaire. Basically giving you the tools of how billionaires think. And I'm like, you know what? I've done a segment about Warren Buffett, a well-known billionaire, one of the greatest, if not the greatest investor of all time. And so I'm like, why not actually do a segment on how billionaires actually think, right? The mindset of the billionaire. By the way, there's nothing wrong with being a billionaire, right? It's just that you have to go through certain things, right? Certain sacrifices, certain statuses, certain things that you have to basically, endure in order to maintain that status, right? Now, full disclosure, I myself am not a billionaire yet, right? So I'll be the first to say that I myself am not a billionaire yet, but I've read books on billionaires. I have basically, I've actually spoken with a few billionaires. Not too long of a conversation, but I've actually had the pleasure of speaking to a few billionaires. And I've watched a lot of videos, right? Read a lot of articles. So I've studied the way billionaires do certain things. And to be honest, it's not that different than millionaires. It's just that they take it to new heights. They scale it a bit more. They think a little further, right? And that a millionaire might have 10 people managing a team or 10 people on his team, his or her team. However, a billionaire might have 1,000 people on their team. And out of those 1,000, 100 are basically the leaders within that team. One thing I've learned about billionaires is just that they take things to the next level. That's all they really do. Their investing is at the next level. They invest more than millionaires, probably because they have more money, but they're willing to take more risk as well. So one thing I've learned about billionaires is that they basically they're not afraid to take risk, just like millionaires. But the thing about a billionaire is that they're willing to take on more risk. They don't really mind taking on the risk. So one thing to keep in mind is the abundance mindset. Billionaires have a big time abundance mindset. They don't see scarcity whatsoever. If a scarce individual, someone who feels the world lacks resources, comes to them and tries to preach or promote that, they're walking out the door. Right? They're not staying in that room because that type of, that's just shattering their brains basically. A billionaire would not want to be in a room full of scarcity-minded people. People who think that the world is basically has limits. A billionaire is infinite. They know that there's no limit to what you can do on this planet. Right? So one thing about the billionaire mindset, if you want to invest like a billionaire, you have to understand that the world has no limits. That we live in an infinite resource type of world. So first and foremost, to become a billionaire or to even just think like a billionaire, you have to put your mindset in the world of abundance. You can't be thinking scarcity minded. You can't be thinking, oh, let me just pay off debt and that's going to get me to the next level. Absolutely not. What is paying off debt going to do for you? Right? Yes, certain debts, you might want to accelerate the payments like credit cards. A billionaire does not pay off student loans before they build their business. A billionaire does not take money from their 401k to pay off debts, right? A personal loan, a term loan, whatever it is. Instead, what they do is they take the money from the loan, they invest it into something that's going to generate them income. Even if they're not 100% sure that whatever it is they're investing into is going to generate them income. So understand that the way billionaires think is they think limitless, right? They're risk managers, and they have teams for everything. They have a team for everything. Yes, they do have a bit more money to spend, but remember, they all started pretty much from nothing, right? They all started from nothing. I'm reading the book, Invest or not invest, but how to become a billionaire, basically. And I heard a story about Sam Walton, how he used to work, I believe it was at J.C. Penney, and he was making a very, very small wage, but he took what he learned at J.C. Penney and actually turned down some of his ideas to start what we now know as Walmart. Right? What we now know as Walmart was actually started by someone who used to work at the counter, who used to work in the stores. He himself, Sam Walton, used to work in the stores himself. So that's one thing I've learned about billionaires, is that they know how to put in the work to get the end result. So you might see that Jeff Bezos, for example, who resigned from being the CEO of Amazon, you might see that, hey, he has a lot of people working on his team. But here's the thing, Jeff Bezos, if you might have seen some pictures or watched a documentary, read his book, whatever it is, you might have noticed that he started Amazon. Basically, he started the business plan in his car, first of all. Right? He started the business plan pretty much in his car on his way home from work. And then, if you looked at some pictures online, you notice that it was all really started from his basement. You know, he didn't have this big fancy corporate headquarters. He just simply had Amazon.com behind him, and he was doing his thing. Learn about the internet, learn about online retail, things that the average individual would not be willing to do. They're not willing to put in the time and the energy, the sweat equity, to get to the next level. So that's the thing. One thing about billionaires is they're willing to put in the work, actually. They're willing to do the dirty work. Look at Elon Musk. I don't know if you guys have ever watched Elon Musk or studied his videos. The guy is a grinder. He is a grinder. To be honest, I don't know any person on this planet that's a billionaire that works harder than Elon Musk. I don't know a single person that's a billionaire right now that works harder than Elon Musk. The guy grinds, right? He grinds. And it's not always necessarily about working harder than the next person, but he's also working smarter because he's building his team and he's holding his team accountable as they're doing things. He's saying, hey, I can do this. I can do this. He's the guy that will pull an all-nighter at a factory, at a warehouse, a shop, whatever it is. And he'll say, hey, this is how you do X, Y, Z. And then he'll monitor his team to see if they're also repeating that, that habit, that pattern. Now, he's not saying, hey, stay all the way overnight. What he's saying is make sure whatever it is you're doing, do it excellently. Do it with excellence. Like, do it with the mentality that you're going to put your all into this. So one thing I've learned about billionaires is that their mind is, they're workaholics, basically. They're willing to work hard and put in the time and energy. So if you're not willing to put in the time and the energy, you're not ready to be a billionaire. It's real simple. If you're not willing to make sacrifices when it comes to certain things in your personal life, you're not ready. It's just that simple. Now, here's the thing. Starting out, you will definitely need to make some of these extraordinary sacrifices. Like stay up a little bit at night, a little late at night. Like maybe give up that party that you were going to go to and instead work on your business. At a certain point, at a certain stage, you'll have the right team. You'll have the right resources. You'll have the right everything to the point where you can start going to those parties and those dinners and whatever it is and just hand everything off to your team. So one thing I've learned about billionaires too is that they've learned to trust their team. They've learned that they basically need to put in the work to get to where they need to be ultimately. Right? They know that they need to put in the sweat equity. Sweat equity is the business owner working in the business. And then eventually, assuming you have the right mindset, knowing that one day you'll be able to work on the business. Right? So here's the thing. The billionaires, they first start off working in the business, meaning you're doing the grunt works. You're doing the nitty gritty. If you're Elon Musk, you're the one that's actually doing the designs for the cars. Right? You're the one that's actually doing the research, R&D. You're the R&D, research and development, division, basically. Now he has a team of research and development specialists. People who, guess what, are actually smarter than Elon Musk. Believe it or not. But why is Elon Musk the billionaire and the rest of his team not? Because Elon Musk has put in the sweat equity. He's invested the time and the resources in order to get these extraordinarily smart people so that they can work on his team where they make money, but he also makes money. I mean, think about how much engineers at Tesla make. I mean, they're probably making a stupid amount of money. But guess what? Elon is okay with that. He's like, hey, as long as you got to do what you got to do, as long as you're getting us results, we'll pay you whatever. 100 grand, I mean, that's the minimum probably for some of these engineers. 100,000, that's nothing. Right? How about 200,000, 300,000? Hey, you want a Tesla with that? We'll give you a Tesla. Right? So that's the thing about a billionaire's mindset. By basically, as a billionaire, as someone who aspires to be one, as someone who aspires to build massive wealth in general, right, you have to put in the sweat equity. So that's one thing that I've really learned about billionaires is that, for one, they're willing to put in the time and the energy into their business. If their business were to crumble, people were to leave, they're stepping right into their shoes. I'm like, hey, let's do this. Right, let's take it over. Why do you think some of these companies stick around for so long? Amazon, Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, General Electric. I mean, these are all companies founded by billionaires. But guess what? They weren't billionaires when they founded these companies. They had to work their way up to the top. They had to do certain things. Now, there's some people that have their opinions. Oh, they exploited so-and-so, this and that. And I'm like, that's because that's the way the media is portraying these things. Right? In that, yes, there might come a time where you might have to make a business decision that's not the most ethical, right? That's not in the most interest of every single person. Sometimes you have to do what's best for you. So when I hear these stories, oh, so-and-so exploited so-and-so, or so-and-so is underpaying so-and-so, I'm like, first and foremost, when you look at even Amazon, look at their minimum wage right now. It's still higher than a lot of other companies. So just keep that in mind. And that in order to make it to the top, right, in order to get to the next level, you have to make sure that you are doing things that will get you to the next level. Right? So just keep that in mind. All right? So understand that you have to put in the quote-unquote sweat equity to get you to the next level. So that's the first thing about a billionaire, is they're willing to put in the time and the energy. And then secondly, they're willing to build the team. Here's the problem with most entrepreneurs, that they get so good at something, but they never learn how to properly delegate that task to the right person. And that they're so caught up, they're so busy. I'm still trying to figure out what people are so busy doing nowadays, by the way. But they're so busy that they don't take the time that's needed. They don't make the sacrifice to take the time to teach the next person properly, right? The right training. For example, our team right now, we're taking them through 6 months of tax training. 6 months. But basically, they don't take the time and the energy to train that next team member because they're so caught up in the weeds of things, basically. So just something to keep in mind, and that when you're investing like a billionaire, you have to make sure that you're making the right decision. You're putting in the time and the energy you need to up front, and then you hire the right team to do the things that you need them to do. They make money, but you also make money in return, right? And I challenge you to read the book, How to Become a Billionaire. It's a great book that just shares some of the stories about what billionaires have gone through. So remember, step one is put in the time and energy into your craft, your business. And I'm talking real time. I'm not talking the petty, the petty hours in the business. I'm talking the real grindful time. And then when the time is right, as you're putting in that time, teach other people. All right, don't be selfish. Don't be greedy here. Teach other people about your craft. Start building a team. I know this is not easy, but you will need to if you want to get to the next level. All right. So with that, first and foremost, I want to thank everyone who's listening right now. We're live today on the radio, WGHC LP 98.3 FM Chicago. You can catch us on WGHCradio.org. We're also streaming live on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you to everyone, by the way, for the birthday wishes. It was a great birthday celebration this past weekend. And for all the love that was shown, we're doing an Infinite Wealth course promo, extended promo, where you can get the Infinite Wealth course at 75% off. The code is AUG14, right? AUG14. So the code expires tonight at 11:59 p.m. Central. Remember the code AUG14. All you got to do, enter that code. Once you sign up on the course platform, you can catch the, if you're on Instagram, it's the second link in my bio, right? Second link in my bio. The code is AUG14, AUG14, all 14 basically. And so with that, you can get 75% off the Infinite Wealth course. So the code expires tonight at midnight. So 11:59 p.m. Central tonight. And this is just a special that we're doing for, just for listening, just for tuning in, and also the birthday wishes and everything like that. It was a great time. And this is the steepest discount we're ever going to offer on the course. It would not get any lower than that, right? Or the discount will be any higher than that. And thank you to my beautiful wife, Miss Yvonne, who's joining us. And she posted the link to the course. I just pinned it to the top. So remember, the code is AUG14, AUG14. You can get the Infinite Wealth course for 75% off, right? And so with that, and remember, the best investment you can make is yourself, right? The best investment you can make is in yourself. Thank you to my beautiful wife, Yvonne, for sharing the code on that. All right, so let's get back to what we were talking about and how to invest like a billionaire. This third point is very important in that, here's the thing. When you're investing into something, don't look at the price. You might think I'm crazy for saying that, but it's true. Remember, we're stepping out of scarcity into abundance. You can't become a billionaire with a scarce mindset. It is impossible. You have to go in it with an abundance mindset. You can't go in there like a Dave Ramsey mindset. You got to go in there like a Robert Kiyosaki, like a Grant Cardone, someone who's a sharpshooter, a thinker, strategist. Right? The thing about building wealth is you do have to take risk, calculated risk. And when we look at investing, we don't look at the price. We look at the value. The price is the last thing we look at when it comes to an investment. Why? Because what does price mean if we don't understand the value of something? How in the world did Warren Buffett, my dear beloved mentor, someone who I dearly look up to, how in the world did Warren Buffett become a billionaire? He became a billionaire because he simply looked at investments, looked at the intrinsic value of the investment, let's say a stock, and then he bought it at a price that was lower than the intrinsic value with what he calls a margin of safety. It means a spread. You want to spread it out a little bit. You don't want to get squeezed in your profits. So Warren Buffett invests like a billionaire. He is a billionaire. How did he become a billionaire? At a net worth of $6,000 at the age of 15, he became a billionaire. because he does not care about price of something. Let's use a scenario. What if I told you that, let's see here, what is something that these headphones right here, what if I told you these headphones cost you $100? And you can feel free to chime in, put in the chat, what would it mean for these headphones to cost $100? It's not a trick question, by the way. Right? It would mean nothing. That's the answer. And that's exactly what I'm getting in the comments. It would mean nothing. If I told you these headphones were $100, it would mean absolutely nothing. But what if I told you that by putting on these headphones, it would allow you to come up with a stock that can make you $1,000 in one day? And it was guaranteed to happen. Well, probably that's worth it. Because me saying this is worth $100, I'm sorry, this cost, the price is $100 means nothing. It means nothing. So what is $100? What's the value, first of all? What can this headphone do for me? And then the person tells you, oh, by putting on these headphones, you can find a stock that's going to make you $1,000 in one day. Right? Just by putting in the headphones, it would literally tell you exactly what you needed to hear, exactly the stock, when you need to buy it. You put in $100, it turns into $1,000. Now, if someone told me that, and assuming it's a credible source, and they put their money where their mouth is, I would buy it without hesitation. I'm like, where can I get more? That's what Warren Buffett was asking himself. If I find a stock where the intrinsic value is $1,000 and I can get it for $300, where can I get more of that stock? That's how Warren Buffett started acquiring Coca-Cola, for example. That's when he started buying companies like Geico, 100% ownership in Geico, the insurance company we all know. Right? That lizard that comes on your TVs. So understand that when you're investing like a billionaire, you can't let something as simple as price hold you back. So for example, let's look at another example. Like, let's say the Infinite Wealth course. What if I told you that the course was $497? What does that even mean? It means nothing, right? Because what if I told you that course can save you millions of dollars in taxes over your lifetime? What would that be worth to you? You're telling me a $497 investment can save you millions of dollars in taxes, when you can take that millions of dollars you've saved in taxes and put it into investments such as real estate? I mean, me listening right now lets me know that course is heavily underpriced. Right? It's heavily undervalued. But, of course, being a nice guy that I would hope to be, I'm basically giving it out for to the people. I'm like, hey, I'm creating a course for people to come and listen. It's only a 3-hour course. It's a fast track course. You get everything you need to know to save potentially millions of dollars in your lifetime in taxes. Avoid making such silly mistakes that entrepreneurs make when they get into business. Silly mistakes can save you millions of dollars in taxes in the long run. Well, that course should be priced at least $100,000, if you really ask me. I mean, we got people that pay tens of thousands of dollars just to sit down and meet once a quarter, once a month, whatever it is. Just to get that one-on-one delivery of the service, the information. And you're telling me you can get an on-demand course that's 3 hours long for $497, and then we're doing a 75% special? We might actually end that 75% right after the show, to be honest. Right? It is going to expire tonight at 11:59 p.m. But man, that's a steal. So understand that when you're investing like a billionaire, you're not concerned about price. Price doesn't mean anything. It literally doesn't mean anything. Even if you don't have the money, the price doesn't mean anything. Why? Because you can find the money. Well, how about the money you did make from the course? You use some of that to reinvest back into your business. I mean, that's the thing. That's what you call an abundant mindset. In order to invest like a billionaire, you have to think abundantly. You can't let something as simple as price hold you back. Amazon right now is, I believe, $3,000 a share. It means nothing, right? What if I told you that Amazon would go up to $6,000 by the end of next year? Would you buy the stock then? Most people would. And that's what I'm saying. Price means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. When you're investing into something, whether it be a business, a stock, forget about the price for a second. Like, don't even look at the price. Look at the value that it's going to bring you. Intrinsic value. How did Warren Buffett become a billionaire? Because he looked at the intrinsic value of a stock or a company, and he bought it at a price that was lower than the intrinsic value of that stock or the company. Right? And shout out to Cofield Advisors, for joining us today. So always remember that. When you're investing like a billionaire, you have to make sure that you're thinking abundantly. Abundance mindset. That's what it's all about. It's about having that abundant mindset. You can't think scarcity mindset, that you have limited resources, such as money. The thing about money is money should always be moving. It should always be invested into something. If you got money sitting in the bank, you're making a big mistake. Outside of the 3 months of the reserves that you should have, by the way. So if your expenses are $1,000 a month, then you should have $3,000 in the bank. I'm talking about the money on top of that, the money outside of that. If that money is sitting in the bank, you're losing money actually. That money has to be working. It has to build assets so that those assets produce you income, so that you can use that income to pay for your lifestyle, your bills, and buy even more assets. Here's another thing about billionaires. They work hard not to pay bills. They're working hard to acquire assets, build wealth, build passive income. Jeff Bezos is not working hard to pay bills. He's beyond that. Look at his yacht. He has a mega yacht. He's not worried about bills. He's working hard. Why did he go to space? Because he wants to start a space company, which he already did. But he wants to start space tourism. And eventually we'll be living in space. Believe it or not. 10 to 20 years from now, some of us will actually be living in space. Right? He sees that. He's a visionary. Why is he doing that? He could be at home chilling, right, having fun. By the way, once you become a billionaire, you can't retire. Truly can't retire. And that's a good thing, by the way. Meaning that you're so into what it is you're doing. You love what you do so much that you don't want to get away from it. You're retired financially, meaning you don't have to work another day in your life, right? But each and every day you wake up, it's not like, oh, I got to go work hard, to make money or to pay bills. It's now I'm working hard to invest. I'm working hard to build passive income, to acquire assets. So if you're talking about investing like a billionaire, you got to get out that, oh, let me just work hard to pay bills mentality. Work hard, pay yourself first, invest in assets, income producing assets preferably, so that it can create wealth, create cash flow, to pay your bills. Use the money from your passive income to pay the bills. Now you don't ever have to work worrying about money. When you get to that point, you will enjoy whatever it is you're doing to the fullest. I guarantee you. You will enjoy everything that you're doing to the fullest. For me personally, I was able to get to that level at the age of 25, right? Very, very fortunate. was able to build passive income through a car rental business, which eventually turned into a real estate business that's producing enough cash flow, enough passive income to cover bills, to cover lifestyle, parties, whatever it is. Right? So that now when you're working hard in your main business, it's not about you're working hard to pay bills. You're working hard to genuinely help clients, and you're working hard to build assets. So when you're investing like a billionaire, you can't be thinking, what money do I have to pay bills? It's about the money you do have right now. What can I do to leverage and invest in assets? You probably have access to $100,000 that you don't even know about right now. But the problem is the subconscious mind, the scarcity side of the subconscious mind says, oh, let me just sit back, do whatever I'm doing, and let me just keep doing that. But little did you know, you can invest $1,000, $2,000, whatever it is, into a business credit course that allows you to build business credit even from scratch. A company that you started from scratch. But you would have never known that had you not taken the leap of faith to invest in that course. The best thing you can invest in, this is the last point. Billionaires understand this. In order to invest like a billionaire, you have to treat yourself as the best investment on the planet. Warren Buffett has bought a lot of stocks, a lot of companies over his time. Jeff Bezos has bought a lot of products and owns an e-commerce, store, Amazon basically. Elon Musk has put a lot into the electric space. But the one thing they'll all probably tell you, if you ask them the question, if you interviewed 100 billionaires and they told you, hey, Jeff Bezos, hey, Elon Musk, hey, Warren Buffett, hey, Bill Gates, what is the best investment you've ever made on this planet? They would say themselves, their education, their knowledge. And for me, I can definitely tell you the same. Because even if they lost all their money, forget about stocks. Even if Warren Buffett lost every single penny today, he would make it right back in a few years. He'll make it right back in a few years. Why? Because he's invested into himself, his education. Whatever he's done, he can just repeat it. He knows how to buy companies. He knows what to look for, the intrinsic value. He knows when a company is about to go bust. He just has that because he's invested in his mind. He reads at least 5 hours a day. I mean, how in the world can you compete against somebody like that? He reads 5 hours a day. I mean, most people in the world, they barely read one book a year. A man reads 5 hours a day. He probably gets one book in every day. 365 books a year. So here's the thing. The number one investment you can make on this planet is in yourself. You cannot invest in anything better on this planet than your own self. Not being selfish, it's being selfless. Understanding that in order for you to help somebody else, you've got to help yourself first. You got to get educated. And so I'm like, man, for my birthday weekend, I got to do something for the people. Let's do an Infinite Wealth course special promo for 75% off, which expires tonight, by the way. Take advantage. Code is AUG14. AUG14. And for those on Instagram, it's the second link in my bio. I challenge you. The link expires tonight. The 75% off after tonight, don't even bother. All right? You might get other discounts in the future, but you won't get as high as 75% off. After having this, this talk, this presentation, never again 75% off, right? I mean, that's a steal. That's a steal. That's a steal. All right, so I'm hearing some comments saying that tried the coupon code, but it's not working. Okay, don't know what's going on there. So I'll go ahead and fix that right after the show. So as soon as we end, just try again in 5 minutes. So just bear with me. Not sure what's going on there. Code should be AUG14. So AUG14. I've had some people try it today, and it worked perfectly fine. So I can definitely go ahead and fix the code, not a problem. So maybe try back. So for those that are having trouble with the code, maybe try back within 5 minutes. So right after this segment, I'll go ahead and into the platform, make sure everything is all set. But the code should expire tonight at 11:59 p.m. Central. So it will be the second link in my bio, right? Second link in my bio on Instagram. And then for Facebook, my beautiful wife Yvonne posted the link. You can get it on jeffbadu.com. That's my website, jeffbadu.com. So today we talked about how to invest like a billionaire. And we mentioned that you got to put in the sweat equity. Then you have to hire the right team. Then you have to basically don't worry about price so much. Worry about the value of what it is you're getting. And then also, last but not least, invest in yourself. The best investment you can make on this planet is in yourself. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and check on the course code. Make sure that's working properly. It should be AUG14. AUG14 once again. I'll go ahead and refresh it, make sure it's working properly. Remember, it expires at 11:59 p.m. Central tonight. After tonight, you will not get anything that deeply discounted ever again. Right? So this is something I'm doing for the people, especially those listening. So with that, my name is Jeff Badu. Thank you for tuning in to WHCLP Chicago 98.3 FM. And I hope to continuously deliver you all some content. Thank you.